you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of side-by-side beer review goodness, hopefully goodness, in a form of Tired Hands Brewing's Only Void, and Only Void with coffee. Just picked these up. It's weird. Not a line standard inner person of whatever form or fashion. But a week ago, I actually went and hung out at a release local to me. I had a really good time. Blast Soul Brewing. Had a hell of a good time, actually. As you can see from my Soul Brewing Electric Velvet Coffee beer review. Got a little bit too much fun. Today, a bunch of friends of mine were going down to Philly. They're going to this release. And they said, come on. And I was like, I had nothing to do. I was like, screw it, I'll go down. And here we are. They released Only Void. Released another beer, I believe it was a Goza 2. But the big one was their Void or Only Void. They did a couple different variants. They did their base one, which we have here on this side. We have the coffee one, which is here on this side. It's a single origin Ethiopian coffee. Pretty fancy stuff. They did a barrel-aged version, bourbon barrel-aged version, and they had a cask version. And they had a couple different ones, but these are the two cans that were up for in can-wise. And they had a wine version. It was in bottles. But I ended up coming home with these, and I figured I'd do a review. It's been a while since I did kind of a dual review, a side-by-side review. And I kind of wanted to review both of them, but I was like, if I do them both in the same review, or different reviews, I'm like, it'll be kind of like the same thing, just a little bit different. So I figured, fuck it, let's do it side-by-side. So enough of me yammering, let's dive into it. As far as what we have on the base here on this side, we have their Only Void, our Imperial Stout. 11%, it doesn't say that on the can, I don't believe. It's 11% alcohol by volume. At least did on the board there. Tired Hands Brewing, Ardmore, PA, and that be that. Over here on this side, we have Only Void. Single Origin Coffee Imperial Stout. Doesn't say it on here, but it's an Ethiopian blend. Coffee, single origin, or I should say single origin, not blend. And that's pretty much it. Label-wise, I actually really dig it. Again, I kind of shit all over fucking Tired Hands labels, but this one, I kind of really fucking dig. Same label, pretty much across the board. The only difference you're seeing here, obviously, is the color difference and a little bit of verbiage, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, super dig these labels. I like them. So there you go. Off to a good start. So let's do this. Let's throw these two suckers up here. Give these a crack each. Try to pour these dual-like. A little dexterity action here. And see what we got going on. I did have the barrel-aged version while I was down there, so all things equal, I did have this beer technically already, but the barrel-aged version I assume is going to be much, much different. Actually, I know it's going to be much different because it was definitely way barrel-forward than the bases, so take all that with as many grains of salt as you desire. Try to pour them as equally as possible. This one has a little bit bigger head, but I had to catch up on the pouring that one, so it's a little bit bigger. So we have the base on this side, coffee on this side. Really not much of a difference color-wise in the head, body, the whole nine. It's an Imperial Stout. It's dark. It's 11%. Not going to really gain too much difference from it. This head, like I said, is a little bit smaller, but I kind of going to lean and put that one towards the pour on my end. So yeah, off the bat, they kind of look pretty much similar. So yeah, give these a little lucky swirl there and see what we got. Base first. Big, sweet roasted malts. There's really not much bittering there at all. Really not much booze there at all either. You get a tiny bit of like an alcohol vapor. But that's pretty much it. Roasted malts, heaping helpings of chocolate. It's not necessarily all dark chocolate, but it's not milk chocolate. Somewhere in between. Leaning a little bit more dark than sweet though. Man, it smells like it has, like, in itself, a little bit of barreling going on. I assume that's just from the malts, getting a little bit of kind of just like a woody kind of vibe from the malt itself. But it smells really smooth, really rich, really delicious. Just a really nice, the way I like my typical stouts to air towards. There's really not much hop presence there. If there is, that's definitely being combated by that sweetness of the malt, and that's pretty much it. Huge, sweet, robust, welcoming Imperial Stout. So that's that one. Let's see what the coffee has to offer. Definite coffee involved, especially, this is the fun part going from side by side. You can really kind of see what kind of is in the beer differently than what is in the base beer. Coffee's huge. Nice roast to it. Smells like a little bit of bittering. I'm not sure if this is cold pressed or not. I'd probably say no. It's just a really well done non-bittering style coffee. That's what I think it is, especially with what I've had from Ethiopian coffee. I don't think it's cold pressed. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, it's the coffee's the leader in the pack as it should be as a coffee beer. Big, rich, bold, in your face, but at the same time, it's not too far above the beer to where you're like, okay, now the beer's kind of like lost in the coffee itself. No. While it is the leader in the clubhouse, the beer's still there. I'm getting a little bit more booziness from this one, just a touch more, a little bit more sweetness, even from that one. So that's probably the only difference. So the base itself is still there in spirit, but that coffee is the leader in the clubhouse. It's big, rich, robust, with that kind of chocolate vibes I got with this one. Added with this one, you're getting a little macchiato kind of chocolate kind of thing going on, but at the same time, it doesn't smell overly sweet, even though it is skewing sweeter in the nose. Yeah, so yeah. Very similar, but different, and that's a really good thing. I actually like that. It's a markedly different beer, but at the same time, it stays true to its base, which is pretty fucking fun. So yeah, smells really good off the bat. Looks good, smells good. Everything's awesome at this point. Let's see what it tastes like. Base. Cheers. Wow. Pretty much what I got on the nose. To the point where it's almost scary. Zero booze whatsoever. You're talking about 11% stout. Fresh, out the gate. Like literally... Pick these up. It is 7 o'clock on my time here. Pick them up noonish. So, I'm talking about a 7-hour wait on these release-wise. I'm not sure how long they've been canned, but no booze whatsoever. A touch in the back end. But the roasted malts are there. Chocolate abounds, but it's very subtle. It's not overt. It's not in your face. And it's non-bittering, but it's not sweet either. It's kind of that perfect balance between getting that roast in there, but kind of stopping short of the bitterness of getting that like kind of overly bitter roasted malt. The hop presence is ever so slightest bit. I think that's where the bittering is coming from, bittering hop, but it balances so well with the sweetness that, yeah, it just fucking works. This is actually really good. This is one of the better Imperial Stouts I've had in a really long time, so I'm super excited. Especially coming from down there, like I said, the biggest, I've said in previous reviews, not the biggest Philly beer guy. I actually did a Tired Hand review this week and kind of dumped on it a little bit. I dumped on it because that's what it was. It needed to be dumped on. This total opposite. Base so far, top-notch shit. So yeah, base. Almost zero detectable booziness. Nice, rich roasted malt. It's non-bittering. Subtle bittering from the hop. Nice sweetness. Chocolate abounds. And it has this, like I said in the nose, this odd kind of pseudo-barrel character to it. Almost like a woodiness, like an earthy woodiness that I really dig. So let's dive into the coffee. Should probably take a little bit of water, but I don't have any sitting around, so we're going to dive in dirty. Cheers. Delicious. That's absolutely fucking delicious. The coffee, when it first hits you, it's really big, a punch in the face, but then it immediately dies down, but doesn't go away and just kind of rides out. It's pretty fucking cool. You almost get this like green coffee vibe up front. This green beanie coffee up front, where it's like this fresh green husk kind of coffee. You go to swallow it and you expect this kind of overt bitterness in this big coffee burst. And while that coffee's huge up front, it kind of just, and then just kind of rides out through the rest of the beer. Adds almost a more silkiness to it. Kind of like the way you add like flaked oats, or even like sometimes lactose kind of adds like a silky smoothness to it. I feel like I'm getting that a little bit from the kind of coffee. It's kind of added that added mouthfeel to it, to where the mouthfeel in this one, I didn't even talk about it, is really nice. Not going to be confused with thin, but at the same time, it's not the densest beer in the world. This holds up that end of the spectrum, but has this secondary element of additional creaminess. Yeah, absolutely fantastic on both fronts. And I'll talk about it too. I'll talk about the bourbon one. The bourbon one was absolutely delicious. It had huge bourbon notes abounding, but at the same time, it had this kind of odd licorice kind of anise vibe going on, which I really dig. And when I had that, I thought maybe the barrel was a little bit too much for the beer. I actually don't want to say that. It's not too much. I thought it was big, and not quite sure it was coming from the beer, what was coming from the barrel. Now, tasting the beer, I kind of get that one a little bit better. Or tasting the base beer, I get that one a little bit better. I would love to try the coffee version of that. Actually, I like coffee versions of everything, so that's what it is. I just want coffee everything, anywhere, at any time. Well, two fantastic beers. Two of the best Imperial Stouts I've had in a really long time. And that's coming from somebody that kind of covets them. You know what I mean? Like, I came in through the Belgian door. Love me some stouts. New school hops are my jam when it comes to the IPA. So I wasn't the biggest IPA guy out to shoot. But these new hops kind of do it for me. So I'm a little bit picky when it comes to stuff I love. I actually have this one, I'm drinking this one in Courage Russian Imperial Stout right now. I'm usually leaning really heavy on the Russian Imperial Stout side, and this is kind of like, okay, this might be supplanting a lot of those. It's up there. It's up there with Courage. It's up there with Black Albert. You know what I mean? A lot of the Black Alberts I've had have been aged, so maybe that kind of makes this kind of not jump the shark, but edge it out a little bit. But it's up there. It's just that good. Both of them. The coffee, I prefer the coffee. I think that coffee adds added element of flavor, not only flavor, but taste and creaminess as far as mouthfeel. But they're two absolutely fantastic beers. I've talked in the past, I kind of dumped on Tired Hands earlier this week because one of the beers I made, I didn't dump on them. I dumped on the beer because it needed to be dumped on, as I said. But there's been no love lost between me and a lot of Philly breweries, but a lot of them are really turning me on now, whether it's Tired Hands or Forest of Maine and breweries like that. And this is the real deal, and it's absolutely fucking delicious. Just to recap real quick. Super long review. I know it sucks. Whatever. It's me. Awesome mouthfeel. Chocolate, not baker's dark, but at the same time not milk. Nice roasted malt, bittering curb to the nth degree. Over here, much the same. Added a coffee element. Greenness in front that has this rich, decadent coffee rides throughout, with this added dimension of super silkiness in the mouthfeel. Two absolutely fantastic beers. And if you can get a hold of them, it's a canned release. Are you going to get it? I don't know. You can fucking trade for it, do whatever. It's kind of weird to even review beers like this when people can't get them, but at the same time, it's beer, so I'm going to review it. But two absolutely fantastic beers. So let's talk about it. Are these two of the better Imperial Stouts and coffee-based Imperial Stouts I've had as of late? Yes. Up there, if not, it definitely in the top 5, if not up there as one of the best. Both of them. Again, like I said, I lean coffee just because of the added element, but this is just a fucking very, very short nth degree behind. Value to availability, I believe it was $22 for a 4-pack. That's not too bad when you're talking about an Imperial Stout from a small kind of boutique kind of brewery. I'm not going to complain about that. Availability, that's where it kind of sucks. Inline only, kind of got to go to the release kind of bullshit. Again, I don't do the release thing. It was kind of annoying to do it because stood in line and did much of nothing else, but at the same time, once you got in there and kind of, chatted some people up, it was a really good time. Met a couple good people. A couple people walked up to me, said hello. Met a guy at the bar, awesome dude. Kind of chit-chatted about beer for about an hour. Had a great time that way. And just say this, if you like what we like this, if you like good beer, if you like good beer from a brewery that, while at the same time they make a lot of different kind of kooky, I guess you would say, IPAs and things like that, that's bringing something a bit different to the table than what they typically produce, and it's really damn good. If you like Imperial Stouts, or like Russian Imperial Stouts, even though this is not one of them, if you like coffee beers, and again, rewind, if you like good fucking beer, because this is what this is good fucking beer. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review as much as I did. If you did or didn't, let me know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. If you want to check me out anywhere else, you can check me out there. Massive beers in all 4 of those places. And yeah, there you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful, beautiful Imperial Stout right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.